So today's minimalism video is actually going to be a really interesting one, but I came up with this idea of how you can implement pretty privilege into your life and how to look better without breaking the bank using minimalism, because I think that chasing pretty privilege is very expensive. As you guys have seen in all my other videos, I think I ran a tab of $10,000 trying to up my looks, and I think that some of the more impactful things that I did, the ones that actually ended up generating the most return on investment, turned out to be the cheaper ones. So I'm going to share that with you guys because I think that you can have your cake and eat it too. I think it can be beautiful, and I think that you can take advantage of pretty privilege if that is something that you wish to take advantage of. I know that this pretty privilege and beauty and everything, that's pretty taboo in the minimalism community. I think I am among one of the first minimalists that I know, because I've been doing this for about 8 years, that was the first to say like, no, I want makeup in my life. Most female minimalists decide, you know what, I don't want to partake in the patriarchy, and they throw out looks and makeup out the window. So I figured, you know what, I want to offer up my perspective as somebody who thinks that, you know what, I think that your looks can get you ahead in life. So I'm going to offer that up in hopes that you can do it in a way that doesn't break the bank, because chasing pretty privilege, as I've mentioned, can be expensive. But you know what, we're going to use minimalism so that we can have our cake and eat it too. So if that sounds good to you, let's get right into the video. Let's get it. Let's go. Woo. So the first one that I want to mention is to stop dyeing your hair. A lot of these tips actually that I actually got from a lot of old money tips, and I figured if it's good enough for people who've been passing on generational wealth, I figured it'd be good enough for me. So among one of the things that I picked up in these tips that, you know, people who money's not an issue for, what do? A lot of them appreciate their natural hair color. And I think I want to offer up my perspective on that. When I was really into Asian culture tends to idolize the ash brown hair as like the ideal, because most Asians have black hair. And as somebody who had black hair, I kind of bought into that notion that somehow lighter colored hair was considered more desirable. So I spent, I think, almost 10 years dyeing the hell out of my hair to no end, and I didn't look any better, and nobody said that my hair looked good. I don't think that my complexion matched brown hair very well. And the reason that I mention this story is because then when you flip it on the flip side, in English, mousy brown hair is considered undesirable because it's like the common hair color among Westerners, which is interesting because what's considered undesirable for Westerners, mousy brown hair, and they all want blonde hair or maybe even black hair for that matter, is desirable in another culture. With all of these things in mind, I came to the conclusion that, you know what, I think your natural hair color will probably look the best on you. Not to mention that you'll probably save a lot of money. I mentioned in other videos, like unless you have figured out a way to dye your hair for free, which I have not and did not, you'll probably save a pretty penny and you'll look the best. Like if you have gray hair, then this probably might not be the best of advice. Just because I haven't crossed that, I don't want to give anybody advice that I have myself not implemented. So when I have gray hair, I'll probably make a video on that and tell you guys my thoughts. But for the time being, if you have natural hair, doesn't have gray hair, I think you should enjoy and cherish your natural hair color, and you'll look better and it's cheaper. And you can disagree or agree with me, that is totally fine. Leave it down in the comments if you agree or disagree. Okay, number 2, have a little bit of makeup, but don't have an excessive amount of makeup. So a lot of female minimalists will tell you just get rid of makeup. You know what? You putting on makeup means that you are not confident in your own skin. And I think I'll be the first to say it's probably true. But that's not why we're here, right? We're not here trying to, you know, up our confidence. I mean, sort of. We're here to kind of like fake it till you make it. So you should be allowed to have a little bit of makeup as a minimalist, but I really don't think that, you know, swinging hard in either direction is healthy. I don't think having a massive amount of makeup is going to up your looks beyond a certain point. So you probably want to master being good at doing your makeup than having a lot of makeup. Having a lot of makeup and maybe not being very good is a waste of money, right? So the point of putting on makeup is to look better, not to waste money on, you know, expiring consumable goods. So my advice is, I think you should be allowed to have makeup as a minimalist. If you don't want to wear makeup as a minimalist, I completely respect that. That is something that I did as well too. For many years, I didn't wear makeup because I had to be a good minimalist. But I think that pretty privilege is something that is real, and if you want to benefit from it, I think putting on some makeup is going to trick the world into treating you better. So why not? But let's not break the bank. Let's not go makeup happy when what we're trying to pursue is pretty privilege benefits, not, you know, a broke wallet because you can't stop yourself at Sephora. Okay, number 3, sleep and drinking water.
I know everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, everybody always says that tip.
But that tip that tip is a really good tip, and it's a really affordable tip. I think that if you want to take care of yourself, you definitely need to be drinking a certain amount of water each day. If you don't, you're not going to be hydrated and your organs are not going to function well, and your beauty is directly linked with your health. So I think that, like, unless you don't have access to clean water, then disregard this tip. I think that you need to intake your amount of water. Like for me personally, I know that my lips get chapped, my skin is not as glowing when I'm not drinking as much water. So I make it a priority for me to always drink water during the day. And the other one is sleep. I know that we live, especially in a Western culture, actually even in an Asian culture, like in developed nations, we put on a pedestal being sleep deprived because,
you know, you're leading an interesting life, or like the hustle culture, or I'm so busy with work.
Which I totally respect. If that's the season of life that you are in, don't let me tell you what to do. But I do think that you're going to age poorly or not age well or not look well if you don't have proper amount of sleep. You're going to look haggard. And I just don't want that for my little Cobras. So for me, I always prioritize sleep. And for me,
I know people might be like, but I don't have enough time in the night to sleep.
I can definitely agree with that. So my recommendation is, if you have a bad habit of scrolling on social media before you sleep, think of it as like an investment in yourself and in your well-being and beauty, is to get your beauty sleep and put the app away. That app is not going to protect you from looking, you know, well rested. It's taking away from your precious sleeping hours. And I swear by sleeping. I know that a lot of people say, oh,
you only need 6 to 7 hours of sleep or whatever.
I easily get like 9 hours of sleep. I'll take away from other things to make sure that I get my sleep, and it has paid off. I really do think my looks look the way that they do. I mean, yes, partly genetics, but also Will knows I sleep a lot. I nap, I sleep, and you need to recharge, and that's how you maintain. You let your cells repair and get rid of damaged cells by getting proper sleep. So, okay, number 4, get some exercise. And I don't think that you need to go to a gym to exercise, and of course whatever level of stoic you are comfortable with also kind of matters. I live in Canada and I run in the snow. I don't think that is probably something that works for everybody, so I am respectful with this tip, but to the best of your abilities, I think that working out can be free. For myself, I have mostly worked out for free. I would either, go for a run in the park or work out at home, or what I mean to say is I've been working out since high school, so all of high school, all of university, all of teachers college, all of medical school, and even now as a working adult. It's like over 10 years, and it has really paid off. My health has been maintained because of maintaining the habit of exercise. Like, it pays off dividend in your later ages. Like, you think it's not important in your 20s. I mean, yeah, you look good and your body looks banging, but it's very superficial. And I mean, yes, in your 30s it's still superficial, but you're a lot healthier, and you don't really understand the importance of health when you're still really young, because you have youth on your side. But you don't understand how important it is as you get older. As you get older, you'll thank yourself for being healthier in your 20s. So definitely prioritize exercising. Even if you have to cut from something else, go to the mall less. Just get some exercise in. Your future you will thank you for it. Okay, and number 5 is eating vegetables. And this is actually an old money tip that I actually picked up. They were talking about how the well-to-do avoid eating processed carbs as much as possible. Obviously, never be restrictive. I think you can still have pancakes when you feel you need to have some pancakes, but just generally speaking, eating less carbohydrates is probably better for you, and implementing some sort of protein in your meal, whether that be meat-based or veggie-based. And I definitely agree with that. That is something that I have recently been doing. I had to cut gluten from my diet because I was getting cystic acne to the point where I had to go see a doctor about it. So I was like, you know what? I think these old money tips, there's some truth to it. For me, I feel a lot healthier, a lot happier with a more veggie and protein-based diet with less focus on carbohydrates. I have reduced my rice intake, I have reduced my bread intake, and I've upped more of the, wholesome type of foods. I'm eating more vegetables, I'm eating a lot more fruits. One of the things too that I've noticed is that when I eat a lot more carbohydrates, I started to notice I would start to develop wrinkles. And then when I ate less carbohydrates, my skin would actually firm up. I have no idea if other people have noticed this. I'm not here shaming wrinkles. I think wrinkles are beautiful because wrinkles are part of human life. We will all age, we will all die. That is the human condition. So if you look at it from a philosophical perspective, I think that wrinkles are very beautiful. It's a blessing that you have lived this long. But at the same time, I've kind of noticed that my skin just generally looks more
glowing and youthful and healthy
just by eating less carbohydrates. Comment down below if you agree or disagree with the statement. I know that the statement is probably really loaded and probably very controversial because a lot of people think that might be an ageist statement. It's not. I was just trying to put out this notion that from my own experience, I have seen that eating less carbohydrates makes my skin pop. So take that as you will. These are my tips to how you can implement pretty privilege using minimalism without breaking too much of the bank, because I think that these are the most, I guess, beneficial things that I have done, that I've seen the most impact for the least amount of money. So yeah, I think that you can have your cake and eat it too. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.